Hey there, home theater fans. I'm Todd with avnirvana.com. I recently had a trip out to Barcelona, Spain, where I covered ISE 2025. And one of my pit stops on the floor was with the great folks at Focal, checking out their brand new Utopia Cinema range of speakers. And let me tell you, these things are absolute beasts. They're gorgeous. We created a wonderful video to share with you, and unfortunately, only half of that video made it home. So what you're going to see and hear today, the first part of this video comes from my most recent episode of the Home Theater News Review podcast. You're going to hear me talk a little bit about the speakers, what kind of drivers they have, some of the things that make the speakers special while you're watching some B-roll that I shot there on the floor. And then we're going to cut over to the video that survived from my chat with Nicholas Debard of Focal. We are inside of Focal's theater demo space there in Barcelona, and he talks about some really interesting stuff. So I recommend sticking around and giving it a watch. In advance, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you over on the Home Theater Forum at avnirvana.com. And that brings us to our headline story and something that's seriously exciting, even if it exists in that kind of realm of fantasy land in terms of overall price of gear. Focal has raised the stakes in ultra high-end private cinema once again with its new Utopia Cinema line. I had a chance to check these out in person at ISE 2025, and let me tell you, these things are absolutely unreal, absolutely gorgeous, not to mention serious home theater speakers. The Utopia Cinema system is designed for private theaters up to 2,153 square feet, so super big. We're talking about dedicated reference level home theater cinemas. This lineup includes the Cinema LCR, that's a full range three-way speaker, and the Cinema Sub, that's a beast of a subwoofer with two 13-inch drivers that can hit down to 19 hertz. And if you're thinking, okay, sounds great, but what makes them so special? Well, let me just tell you. So the Cinema LCR packs just this beautiful cutting-edge driver array. Focal brought over innovations from its Pro Audio division, meaning these speakers share DNA with their higher-end Utopia studio monitors. At the core is their new 1.5-inch M-shaped beryllium tweeter. It delivers detailed high frequencies. It's backed up by a 5-inch M-shaped W-cone mid-range that nails vocal reproduction. And get this, it carries itself a massive 13-inch woofer capable of moving a ton of air while still keeping things tight and controlled. These speakers also have a bunch of onboard manual controls that installers can use to dial in the speakers before reaching for electronic room correction if they even need to. Then there's the Cinema Sub, which is an absolute monster. Those dual 13-inch high excursion woofers are paired with a large front-firing port, giving this thing just that earth-moving bass that we're all looking for. And you don't have to worry too much about distortion. It's built for high SPLs without compromising sound quality. You know, if you love that deep cinematic bass that hits you in the chest, this thing delivers that in spades. But here's the kicker. Focal designed these speakers for modular configurations. You can mount them on the wall. You can mount them in a wall, vertically, horizontally. You can also expand them as you need to. If you're lucky enough to have a cinema that's already running Focal's 1000 series, these speakers can integrate seamlessly together because they share the same W-cone and beryllium tweeter technology, so no problem marrying the old with the new. Of course, this level of performance comes with a bit of a price tag. The Cinema LCR runs at $11,999 US, while the Cinema Sub comes in at $5,999. So pricey, yes, but when you start to compare these against some of the other speakers that we see on the market, I don't know. They actually start to sound quite reasonable. It's kind of weird when you enter this world where products that cost that much begin to sound reasonable in price, but when you start comparing them against equal products in those categories, those upper echelon speakers, yeah, these actually really look quite reasonable. They'll start shipping later this year in September 2025. These aren't your typical in-wall speakers that have a maybe 3-inch or 4-inch depth in a box.
Correct.
These are rather large enclosures, almost full-size speakers, I would say.
Yeah, almost. I mean, here it's still compact enough because you are looking at 34 centimeter deep. Obviously, you would need a baffle wall on the front wall and sometimes also on the rear wall as well to end up implementing those properly. The idea here is more likely to offer a no-compromise solution at all.
Yeah.
The existing range that we have, like 1000 series, offers really high audio quality performance, perfect and easy to implement by design because those are less than 3 inches deep and those are backboxed as well.
So this can go right in a stud bay.
Very easy. By design, you go inside a drywall, no really specific job to do here. Whereas when it comes to the next level of dedicated cinema room, then obviously you will more likely work on a baffle wall on the front and at the back of the room to implement audio speakers in a baffle wall and optimize the performance right from the design of the room. So
sure, I guess that makes sense also because not too many people have room on the sides.
Correct.
To build walls out to fit in things of that size. So shallow depth on the sides.
Easy.
And then on the back and the front of the room.
Correct. Yeah. And if you are in a very, very large room, then you can easily implement the LCR Utopia Cinema on the side as well. So that way we maintain system flexibility, easy to configure the room depending on the possibilities of the room. And we stay consistent all across from the existing 1000 series to the brand new Utopia Cinema because they do share the same drivers, dome technologies, be it for the tweeter, and same cone technologies for the mid and bass drivers as well. So it's consistent all across. And here we are driving the system, the 7.4.4. On the Atmos, we have the existing 1000 IC LCR5 as Atmos channel, and all of those channels are driven by Astral 16. So the 7 speakers at ear level plus the 4 Atmos are powered by Astral 16, our high-end AV receiver, and the 4 subs are driven by the audio processing of Astral 16 and are powered by the dedicated monoblock called NAP 101 from our sister company Name Audio.
So basically the rack driving a large room like this is going to be pretty substantial. It's going to be a large...
Yeah, it could be.
It could be.
Whereas here, in our case, since Astral 16 has also the built-in amplifiers inside, the rack stays quite minimalistic because here, to power this entire solution, we only need 8 units in the rack, which is a really good solution all across. Yeah.
Although someone that has a room that will be able to fit these probably isn't so worried about rack
No,
space.
that's it. So you can easily... I have some stuff inside your rack, so that's usually not a big issue.
Okay, so these are newly launched. When will manufacturing...
So we just announced those at ISE, and we will start shipping those products in September from France.
Okay, and pricing?
Pricing, those will basically retail for 10,000 euros for the speaker, the Utopia Cinema LCR, and 5,000 euros for the sub.
It's beautiful. Beautiful gear.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time to show us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a great show.
Thank you. And everybody out there, like and share this video, but also come hang out with us on the Home Theater Forum, avnirvana.com.